Yo, this is your Coach Renz, and I just want to take a few minutes, guys, to talk about real love. So many people think they have real love, but yet they don't. But before I go there, I want to thank everybody who's a subscriber to my pages. I want to thank everybody who's over on Facebook, but I want you to on Facebook to come on over to YouTube and subscribe because that helps the channel. All of my patrons on both my Tantric channel and Coach Renz page, I thank you. The Art of Tantra and Coach Renz, I thank you for being patrons because that means so much to me and I appreciate it. Now I want you guys to like, click, and share this video and then subscribe and hit that bell button so you get notifications when I go live as well as other videos that post. So love. Oh, when you hear that word love, it just makes you think of all these different wonderful, beautiful things. All the romantic, caring, considerate things that people do for one another. That when you hear this thing, love, you see that old couple who've been together for a very, very long time, 30, 40 years, and you think of love. You see the parent who just adorns their child and they give them so much love to raise that child to be the best that they can possibly be and have everything in life they want. Oh, when we hear love, think about how much we care for one another, how much we share our lives, and how many things that we do for one another, and all the sweet words and the cards and all the things we do on special holidays and birthdays and anniversaries for one another. That's what we think about when we hear the word love. We think about all those things. But then we look at our lives. We look at our lives. We look at our spouses. We look at our families. We look at our kids. We look at our friends. How much love do we show? Do we truly understand love? Or is it just a word to us? I believe to many people, love, it's just a word. It's just a word. It's a word that we think becomes an emotion. It's a word that we think becomes an emotion, and we think it's an emotion that other people just feel. It's a word that becomes an emotion and that other people just feel, and they're supposed to be happy. But why are we so unhappy? We see couples all the time and they're walking around and they think that they're in love. We think that couple's in love because they've been together for a long time and they haven't been out of each other's reach or out of each other's grasp. They've never gotten a divorce. And we think that they're in love, but when we look at their lives, we don't see love. Why? Because love is an action. Love is an action word. Love is not something that sits idle. Love is something that has to constantly be in motion, and we know that anything that's in motion, that it has activity, that it creates friction, and that friction builds up heat, and that heat lights a fire. So we know that's what real love is. Love is action. So let me ask you a question. You're a husband. You have a wife. You look at your wife, but she's not fulfilled emotionally. You look at your wife and she's not fulfilled sexually. You look at her and she doesn't feel your financial security, nor is she feeling physically protected. You look at your wife and you're not giving her what she needs in action so that she feels love. But yet you tell her every day that you love her. But every day she feels unfulfilled. Every day she feels lonely. Every day she feels like all the pressures of the world is coming down on her. Every day she doesn't feel like she has that friend that she talks to. Every day you ignore her. So how do you expect for her to feel love just because you said a word? A word that's supposed to create an emotion. A word that's supposed to have a feel. A word that's supposed to bring happiness. How do you think she can ever feel it if your actions don't demonstrate it? Because in truth, you don't love her. You say it. You say it as a word. You say it as a word that's supposed to create a feel. You say it as a word that's supposed to create an emotion. You say it as a word that's supposed to give her happiness, but she doesn't feel love. Women, you have a husband. You say that you love him. But every day he comes home, he's frustrated, and he comes home to argue. He comes home to frustration. You say that you love him, but he comes home and he's sexually unsatisfied. He comes home and the house is not in a comfortable way that makes him feel happy about his environment and his surroundings. All he is stressed now. But you said that you love him. You say it every day. You give him a little kiss and you say that you love him. But love is just a word that you said to him. That's supposed to create a feel, that's supposed to create an emotion, that's supposed to make him happy. But yet, he never feels that way. He never demonstrates that. He always feels lonely. He always feels unappreciated. He always feels sexually frustrated. He always feels like he's living in chaos and stress. Why? Because all you've done is giving him a word. You see, both male and female, both husband and wife, will say a word over and over again that's supposed to express love, that is supposed to create this feeling, that's supposed to have this emotion, that's supposed to make the other person happy. But it's just a word. You see, love is an action. I'm 46 years old, and I would rather a woman never tell me that she loved me, but demonstrate it every day, than for her to tell me every day, but hardly ever demonstrate it. Because love is always going to be an action, and it's never going to be a word that gives me a feeling, that gives me an emotion, that makes me happy. I could care less about the word. I care more about the action. Now here's the thing about it. Many people say they want to learn how to love. They want to learn how to give love and express love. It is not something that you can say, you give me a card, think I'm supposed to keep the card, look at the card, like the card, have a feeling from the card, have an emotion from the card, and feel happy from the card. No. I'm not going to feel it from that. Now, what I'm going to feel it from is after I express to you what it is, the actions that causes me to feel love, and I see that action done repeatedly over and over again, over and over again. When I see you begin to dominate in that area, then I know you've taken the actions of love, and then I'll feel love. You see, love is something that makes you great. Love is something that makes the relationship great. But love can only make the relationship great if you dominate in the actions that create love. As long as you're just saying it as a word that creates a feel, that creates an emotion that's supposed to make a person feel happy, then you will never dominate in it, because now your word love is just like those who have a dream that goes unfulfilled for the rest of their life, because all they think about is that it's in their head, and they just keep on saying, I want to be, I want to be, I want to be, I want to be. You say, I want to be in love, but yet you don't show love. You say, I want to be a husband, but you're not showing love to be a husband. You say, I want to be a wife, but you're not showing the kind of love to be a wife. Because why? Because it's just a word. It's just a word to you. But those who have great relationships that is filled with love can never say, never need to say that they love the other person, because they dominate in the actions that show love. And if you want to have that type of relationship, then you have to get out of the practice of saying that you love a person and get into the practice of showing that you love the person. It's been said to me over and over again. It's a common phrase, but I love the way it's said, is that I can show you better than I can tell you. And many people will use that phrase and say, I can show you better than I can tell you. And in negative things, it's easy to use that phrase to say, I can show you better than I can tell you. Mess with my kids, I can show you better than I can tell you. Mess with my money, I can show you better than I can tell you. Do something to disrupt my house, I can show you better than I can tell you. But how about we take that ideals? How about we take that thought process? How about we take that kind of passion and energy towards love? Let's take it from negative things and put it towards the positive thing of love and say that, you know what? I know you want to have some consideration. I can show you better than I can tell you. I know that you want me to be affectionate and show that sexuality. I can show you better than I can tell you. I know you want me to be emotionally there for you. I can show you better than I can tell you. I know that you want me to be your protector and help you and protect you in finances. I can show you better than I can tell you. How about let me show you better than I can tell you on the positive things that create love. And I don't know what kind of energy I'm giving off right now. But all I know is the lights keep on flashing, and the lights keep flashing over and over again. It's not something I'm doing, because all I'm doing is expressing the energy of my love right now. And the lights keep flashing. I don't even know why, and it doesn't matter why. I'm not going to edit this or change it, because that's just reality. This is real. This is real, because my passion for love is an action for love. And I need your passion for love to become your action for love. And if your passion for love becomes your action for love, then the person that you're giving that action to is going to receive that passion from you. And then the next thing you know, you live in that beautiful relationship of love. And that's what we all say we want. But instead of saying it, let's be it. All we got to do is be it. And in order to be it, you got to free yourself to be yourself. Why? Because your greatness is non-negotiable. Thank you guys. You've been your Coach Renz.